All right, well, it is 8:50, so good morning. Welcome back, students, teachers, after spring break. We are meeting this morning for a special episode of Career Ed Talks. My name is Kelly Thawley, and I am the College and Career Specialist in our Career and Technical Education Department here at the School District of Lee County. Welcome to everybody that's joining us. Thank you to our teachers that have students listening in. For those of you that are watching after the fact, please feel free to reach out to us with any questions. You can get a hold of any of your CTE contacts here within Lee County, and we will direct you to where we need to direct you. So with that, I am going to turn this over to Ms. Deelen, and she is with Charlotte Technical College. She's going to share today about the Aviation Maintenance Technician Program that they have. And give you a little bit of background information and a virtual tour. This is a really, really awesome program. It is the only one of its kind in Southwest Florida. And for our Lee County students, it's a very quick drive up 75. So right off the interstate, it is not far at all. It's a really great program that you can finish within a year and be making a lot of money, more money than we do as teachers. So something to keep in mind, students. And with that, Deelen, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you for having me. I want to share my screen very quickly here. Let's see here. Zoom. Share.
Mary, can you make Deelen a host, please?
Oh, yes. Let me know when you see my screen.
All right, you're co-host. Just let me know.
We don't see it yet, Deelen, but you should be able to share.
Okay, here we go. All righty, let's see here. I had it up a second ago. Technologies. Here we go. I'll try it again here. There we go. There we go. All right. You see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Is it full screen, on your end?
Not yet. It is in presenter form right now.
Okay. Then I will go to slideshow. There we go. There you go. Okay. How does it look now? Good?
That works. Yes.
Okay. All right. So first of all, thank you for having us, Lee County. I would like to start off by introducing to you as part of this presentation, I have Amanda Schwartz, and Amanda is our aviation specialist for the Airframe and Power Plant program. And with us today, I also have Debbie Eater, and she is our recruiter for Airframe and Power Plant. She does the adult recruitment, and we have a person that is by the name of Barbara McCauley. She's not with us today because she's out recruiting, and she does our seniors. And then we have an instructor by the name of John Levy with us today, and he's also a part of this presentation. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of go through this. This is a virtual field trip. And so we are going to take you around, and we're going to show you a little bit about the campus. We really try to empower students here with the skills necessary to pass the Airframe and Power Plant licensure exams and become employed as aircraft technicians if that's what they want to do. Many of the skills that are earned in this program are transferable to a variety of different occupations. I know that when we first started rolling this program out, we kind of highlighted NASCAR racing. And a lot of the NASCAR technicians that work on those cars are airframe and power plant certified. So if that happens to be something that you want to do in the future, consider airframe and power plant. Kelly, I'm going to stop sharing, and can you show that link?
Yeah, I will get that right up. Mhm.
Very excited.
Let me try to share that larger so that you all can see it.
There you go. There you go.
Exciting opportunity for this program because we are going to be able to train students that will need jobs in our county. We just received a PW 6000 Pratt & Whitney engine from Brazil. You don't normally see an engine this size in a lot of the different training programs in the nation. To have something like this as a learning tool for our students is an unbelievable opportunity for those that enter our program.
I'm Ricardo Palazzo. I grew up in Miami, Florida. I'm an aircraft mechanic for Legion. I went to school and got my airframe license. And then once I got my license, then I started working in my career as an aircraft mechanic. We don't do our job right, and people could get hurt. As Legion grows, we're going to need more talented men and women to join our team.
This aviation program can provide you with an opportunity to earn a great income, raise a family right here in Charlotte County, dig your roots in, stay here, and survive with a very, very happy lifestyle.
All right. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, so I will start sharing my screen again. All right, you see that? Okay, all right, so moving on. There we go. So the goals for this lesson, we're going to talk a little bit about how long it's going to take you to get enrolled in this program and how long it will take you to complete. We're going to talk about the costs of attending a public school aviation program, as well as introduce to you the different financial resources available. 95% of our students that attend Charlotte Tactical College have some sort of funding that allows them to do these programs. We have 23 different training programs, and they're allowed to do these programs almost virtually and not have to pay any out-of-pocket expense. So we really try to make it happen when it comes to scholarships. We have private scholarships, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Predicted wages. We're going to talk a little bit about the predicted wages according to the Occupational Outlook Handbook from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And you're going to get a tour of our hangar and our facility, and you're also going to hear from a few of our students that are going to be available to talk with you today. So moving on. Okay, first of all, we do high school. We allow students to participate in our dual enrollment aviation program. And our high school students come into our program as seniors, and they come to our main campus at Charlotte Tactical College. And they enroll in the first course, which is AMT 0705, which is Aviation Maintenance General. And this course is 450 hours, and it takes one entire school year for a student to be able to take this course. Now, a lot of our students that enroll in this course will take their graduation requirements of English, math, and government and econ. That's what our students in Charlotte County have left to take. A lot of those students will take those courses online through Charlotte Virtual School. I know that Lee County has Lee Virtual. And depending on, this course will be offered in the morning, and depending on what you have left to take to finish your graduation requirements, you could possibly make it back to your school in the afternoon after coming to our school in the morning and attending this class. So this is a possibility for you as a senior, either virtual academic requirements or live in-person academic requirements at your school site, depending on how many courses you have to take. So this high school general course targets the seniors, of course, and you're actually at the school about 165 minutes of the day. So if that helps you plan your schedule for next year, and this is something that you're really interested in, just know that you're going to have to be able to drive from Lee County to Charlotte County, and you're going to be in the classroom for approximately 165 minutes. Now, the advantages of starting this program as a senior is you're going to get a return on investment. In other words, your parents are going to save $1,684 because you're not having to pay tuition as a high school student to attend this program. So the tuition cost for the first 450 hours is $1,314 and $370 in lab fees. But you would not have to pay that as a senior in high school. So those fees would be waived. So you'd be saving $1,684. And I have the contact for enrolling in this program as Barbara McCauley. She is our secondary career specialist, and I have her number there listed as well as her extension. Our graduated students are adult students. The airframe program, the total program, including the first 450 hours that our seniors take, is 1,350 hours. That's airframe, it's general airframe 1 and airframe 2. And then you have, if you want to continue, you have power plant. Now, the difference between those two courses is airframe is the structural part of the outside. It's the avionics, it's the electrical components, the dashboard, so to speak, of the airplane. The power plant is strictly related to the turbine engines. It's the big engines, that big engine you saw on the opening video there. You learn how to work on engines like that and smaller ones as well. It takes approximately 18 months for an adult to complete both programs. The location of the program is at the Punta Gorda Airport campus. Airframe, our cost sheets are located on our Charlotte County Public Schools CTC, Charlotte Technical College website. So you can get a detailed cost sheet by going to the Charlotte Technical College website. But our overall costs for airframe are $5,811 as an adult student, or power plant is $3,515. Now, that tuition is subject to change based on state regulated tuition rates, which are set annually every spring of the year. I have a link there on how to apply. But if you have any questions, you can contact Debbie. She's on this call right now. You can contact Debbie Eder, and I've listed her extension there for you. Real quick, as a grade 12 student, this is a real quick action plan timeline, so to speak. You'd start on August the 10th in your 450-hour first class of airframe, and you would finish in May. And then you would have 2 months to take your general certification exam. So you will have the ability to take the general certification exam at the end of your first 450 hours. As an adult student, you can either start airframe or power plant in August. Okay, so if you've already done airframe, you could start power plant in August, but you have to complete airframe first. You start in August. Power plant takes about 900 hours. So if you started in August and you took power plant, you'd be done in 900 hours, which is around March. Otherwise, the first program in the sequence is airframe. You start in August, you'll be done in June. Take the airframe practical and knowledge exam in July, and then come back the following year, start power plant in August and finish in March. All right, so I'm going to disconnect right here. And let's see, Kelly, what do I have to do? I have to stop presenting, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I have to stop presenting. Let's see here. And that. And okay, am I live now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, here we go. So now we're going to take a virtual tour of the facility. So I'm going to turn my laptop around, and I'm actually leaving my office area right now. And I'm going out into the foyer area of our main campus. That's Christina right there. She's our administrative assistant. Here's John. John was on the call a few minutes ago. And I'm going to walk into one of our classrooms here. We have 2 classrooms in this building. I'm going to walk into one of our classrooms right here. And this is Mr. Hassler. And you're going to hear from a few students in this classroom. You guys need to be ready and on call when we're finished here. And this is the power plant classroom. And then I'm going to kind of show, this is the hallway. Students have full access to this building and this campus. We have a small library in here. This is a couple microwaves, and you can see all those are manuals that you'll learn to read from and to work from as you train in this program. And then down that hallway right there, you'll see like a little kitchen, and students have access to that kitchen, and there's a coffee pot, microwaves, full refrigerator, ice maker, etc. Because it's kind of hard to travel from this campus to get food in a 40-minute period of time for lunch. Okay, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to go outside. John's going to open the door for us. And I'm going to lose a little bit of Wi-Fi connection as we go out. But as you can see, there's an airplane landing off in the distance right there. We're right on the airport. So we get a lot of action here, and we have a lot of business partners that surround us. Let's see, Amanda, who's to my left? That's APG? APG's on both sides of us. All right. So they're repair operation centers, and they partner with us, as well as you can see, Allegiant is right on the tarmac. We are a partnership with Allegiant, and that's where that video actually came from that you walked and saw at the beginning of the presentation. So we're going to go out here to the hangar, and because I'm not an aviation specialist, Amanda and John are going to kind of help us learn a little bit today about some of the equipment out in this hangar. All right, so we're entering the lab space right now. And we have Mr. Coffee out here. We caught him, and he's working on some of the equipment, getting it ready for the students that are going to be coming out here later. So this is, Amanda, you can describe this.
This is a cutaway of a Walter 601 engine, which is a Czech version of the PP6. And so this just shows you how everything works inside.
Shows you how a turbine engine works inside. And this is what you saw in the video. We do use this as a learning tool, but when they delivered it to us, they took some of the pieces off of it. We couldn't run it in here anyway, because you have to have a test cell in order to be able to do that. But you can see the variety of different engines that we have, that we use as training tools. Right now, the students are working on a section on props. And what does this thing right here do, John?
A little test cell for the engine. It's kind of this is the correct way to do it. There's a lot of schools out there that just have an engine that's strapped to a piece of metal that they're running, but this is the correct operation for running, starting, checking systems in a reciprocating engine.
All right, thank you. And then this is one of our planes. This is a Navion, and I'll show you some of the rest of them here in a few minutes. And then I'm going to duck underneath the wing. And over here is an area that we use a lot. All this equipment here, we use a lot for airframe, working with sheet metal, riveting. Like I said, the airframe is the structural part of the outside of the frame. And then over here, you'll see a lot of different training boards that we use to teach with. So we are a huge shop with a lot of stuff that's used to learn from.
Point out a citation out there.
Oh, okay.
Our latest,
Okay, our latest inquiry, our latest inquiry here, or our gift, I guess you might say. This was a citation right out here that was donated to us. And so the students are using this plane right here to learn from. As you can see, if you can see, it's got some structural damage to it. It's not able to fly anymore, but we can still use it as a learning tool. All right, off in the distance here, you see 2 more classrooms. We have 4 full classrooms here at the Charlotte Tactical College campus on the airport. And we have bathrooms inside of building 1, and we have a large bathroom area right there outside between the hangar area and building 1. And then as we walk around here, you'll see that we've got some engines off in the distance that we are take apart to build a whole one. We use the parts from those to build a whole running engine. And that's unloaded right here along the side of the hangar are also planes that we use as learning machines. We use these as learning tools. All right, we're going to go back inside and see if we can pick up where we left off. And I'm hoping you guys enjoyed that little virtual tour. And we're going back inside the main building now. And I will go back inside of my office and try to fire up this presentation again, and then we'll carry on. How was that, Kelly?
Thank you so much, Sheila. That was awesome. It's so neat to see that your campus is embedded right into the airport right there, and that your students have all of that access and your business partners are right there. It makes for an easy transition for our students.
Yeah, it really does. It's really nice to have that. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Okay, you have that. Let's see here.
Yeah.
First slide. Okay, you good?
Yes,
Okay.
we're good.
All righty. So real quick, I talked a little bit about the financial aid resources, and students that have bright futures can come here and they can use their bright futures. We do accept VA. We are a Title IV Pell School. One of the things that I encourage you to do as seniors is, if you're graduating right now, is to make sure you have completed that FAFSA. This is a good time of year. Your parents are just getting ready to file taxes. And so make sure you complete that FAFSA. Career Source is another form of, they do support our airframe and power plant program. And so Career Source is another option. And then we have very, very many CTC scholarships available. We have a donor that left us millions of dollars many years ago. And Max Farrell scholarships are available, but these scholarships are only available after a student has been in the program and has shown success in the program for some time. They're not startup scholarships, so I need to make sure I share that with you. A few pictures of some of our students working actually out in the lab area. Sorry, there wasn't any out there today. I don't do their lesson plans. They do their lesson plans, and they do a great job at it too. So this slide right here kind of shows you a little bit about, I think it's on your right, what an aircraft and avionics equipment mechanic and technician would make, or a service technician would make. And this is your median annual wage from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Occupational Outlook Handbook. So this kind of shows you some different areas in the field of aviation and what your wages, your median wages could be in those particular areas. And on the right, the job outlook, you can see that aircraft mechanics and service technicians are very at the top of the list. And it's projected to grow about 6% between the years of 2021 and 2031. So you can see that if you're interested in this particular field, the need is definitely there. This next slide shows you, I actually typed in, this is from ONET, I actually typed in our zip code, and this is local. So let's say you want to stay here in Southwest Florida. And you can see that the median wage is going to be about $61,520 if you want to stay in Southwest Florida. And it compares it to the United States at $65,380. And then after you're in the business for quite some time and you're good at what you do, you have the possibility of really moving into a six-figure role. Let's talk a minute about your cost savings, okay? This is huge. And I know there's a lot of information and research out there right now with regards to whether you go to technical college or whether you go to a four-year institution or a state college. Well, I'm a technical college guru, and I really believe in technical colleges. So you're going to hear me talk for technical colleges. Technical colleges right now, our tuition rate is $2.92 an hour. So I've already gone through this with you, but after if you pay for 1,350 hours, your tuition by itself would be $3,942, or your power plant tuition would be $2,628. So you're looking at a little over $6,000 in tuition to get two programs. So you're looking at $6,366 a year at a four-year university, and that's just the tuition rate alone without room and board. So a career in a year with less debt is something that the technical colleges really try to strive for. Getting a career within a year. And could you just do airframe and get your certificate and get out and get a job? Yes, we have many students that just want to work on the outside and the airframe part, the outside of the structural part of the airplane. They don't want to do with the engine. They don't want to deal with the engines. So can you get a job with that? Yes, you can. Most major companies like Allegiant, they're going to want you to have airframe and power plant. Delta's going to want you to have airframe and power plant. You know, the bigger commercial airlines are going to want you to have both airframe and power plant. So we always try to encourage our airframe students to come back and do power plant. This is our team. Whoops, went too fast there. This is our team, myself, the director, and Amanda. I already introduced you to Amanda, and Debbie's on the call. And Christina Valenti, she waved earlier on this presentation. She was the administrative assistant. And then these all are all of our instructors. You've met John. You saw Daniel out in the hangar. And William, he teaches up at the main campus. Mickey Warren is our nighttime teacher. We try to offer as many classes as we possibly can, as many cohorts as we possibly can with our instructors to give students the flexibility of being able to work during the day, come to school at night, or vice versa. William Collin, and then David Hassler, who you saw just a few minutes ago because he was teaching the power plant students. All right, so in this room with me right now, okay, you're lucky to have two excellent students that are going to kind of sit and talk with you. And I'm gonna ask them. Oh, do you guys have the questions?
No.
Okay, you want me to ask you the questions? No, that's okay. You can just answer them. All right. So I'm gonna turn my computer. And I'm gonna introduce you to David. And David, just talk about the program a little bit. You're talking with students in the classrooms in Lee County right now. And so just tell them about your experiences and whatever you want to share with them.
So my favorite things about this program are the environment. Between the tight-knit relationships classmates develop and the passion present, it creates an interesting and enjoyable day. I think the advantages of attending the class at the airport are it allows a deeper immersion into the profession, the availability to work in a hangar, and an active airport breaks the monotony of sitting in a classroom. A student should choose the CTC because the CTC offers a competitive pricing compared to similar colleges on top of the other attributes I previously mentioned. My future plans are to finish my license and work in a engine shop such as Pratt & Whitney or Rolls-Royce. From there, if I decide an engine shop isn't for me, I can work in many of the other facets that the aviation industry provides.
Thank you, David.
You're very welcome.
Tell us about tell us about some of the things you do out in the lab or things that you have done in the lab in the airframe and power plant. Talk a little bit about the projects.
We've done many sheet metal projects. We have timed magnetos. We have taken apart many motors, just worked on things like cooling, baffling. There's so many things to mention, such as motor mounts. We inspect. It's really hard to think. Bearings, airfoils, structure. Many control surface inspections, really anything having to do with the airplane.
And what made you want to come into this program in the first place?
I spent a lot of time working on cars, so I was mechanically inclined, and I always wondered how things worked. And to me, this course was just another layer of figuring all that out. I got to learn much deeper into the mechanical side of everything. Instead of just knowing it works like that, it was wondering how and why it works like that. And that's something that you will learn through this course.
That's cool. That's really cool because a lot of people don't go to that extreme. It's just like, okay, it works. Well, that's all I need to know. But how it works and why it works that way. And the point I want to get across here, I value what you guys are doing and what you guys are learning, because it's so important that you know everything that you're supposed to know, because in the long run, you guys are fixing planes.
Yeah.
And
their lives are at risk.
And lives are at risk. You're right. You're right. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Okay, and I'm going to let her you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Rebecca. I'm a power plant student here at CCC. Some of my favorite things about the program, I'm a very hands-on person. That's how I best learn, is by taking things apart. A lot of the things in the classroom you're going to learn aren't going to quite make sense at first, but once you get out in the hangar and you start taking things apart, it's really going to make sense. And that's the easiest way for me to learn. I love working together with my classmates. Sometimes we come across problems, and it's actually really satisfying and fun to put our heads together and figure out what the problem is and troubleshoot it. The environment in the hangar is extremely similar to what you're going to see out in the field. So we have a lot of potential employers that come in, and it's always nice to network with them. And occasionally we'll go on field trips and expos, and it's nice to kind of see what it's going to be like out in the field. Being on an airport really has some great advantages. For one, you get to see airplanes every day, and you can't really beat that. I mean, even the military comes there sometimes. That's always cool to see. Like I said, field trips, sometimes we'll visit other hangars and meet potential employers on the airport. And even after school, I work right next door after school, so it's really convenient to have my job right next door.
What do you do over there at APG?
So I work in general aviation. We work on smaller aircraft. So we're going to be doing mainly annual inspections, but without my IA license, I cannot do annual inspections, but I will assist. I will help with servicing, oil changes, tire changes, lubrication, just small stuff like that.
So you're really continuing your learning of what you've learned here.
Yes,
when you go to your job over there, right?
It's amazing to finally be able to apply what I've learned in class out in the field.
Explain what an IA is.
So once you work for 3 years as an AMP, you can apply to get an inspection authorization, an IA. And that allows you to complete annual inspections, other inspections. You just basically have more privileges.
Doesn't it make the plane, doesn't an IA make the plane airworthy?
Yes, so
Yeah.
their final signature is what constitutes airworthiness for that aircraft.
So but you can't apply to do that until after you've had 3 or 4 years as
Yeah.
an A&P, right?
Actively 3 years as an AMP.
Okay, very cool.
And I think a student should choose CTC because honestly, I think our greatest asset is our instructors. They all come from various backgrounds. Some have 20, 30 years of experience. They offer a lot of really good real world insight into the industry. They genuinely care about you and they really want to see you succeed. You know, they're gonna push you to be your best self, but it's all gonna pay off in the end. Our campus is great. Like I said, the hangar's set up pretty much what you're gonna see in the real world. We have a DME on site who is a designated maintenance examiner. So all your testing can be done on campus.
And when you take a test for airframe and power plant, how many tests do you actually have to take?
So we have general, airframe, and power plant. Those are going to be your 3 written tests. Once you complete your airframe in general or your power plant in general, you're eligible to take your orals and practicals. So it's going to be a set of oral questions. You just sit down with your examiner and he's going to ask you questions. And then you have your practical exams, which is hands-on projects that you have to complete. So then you will have, so that's 3 written exams total and 3 orals and practicals.
Do you know what your hands-on project is going to be before you go into the test?
It's completely random.
So you got to be ready
Yes.
to do whatever they ask you to do.
Yeah, and your examiner will have everything you need, but you need to ultimately know how to do it.
Okay, all righty.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's from Rebecca. And
Well, thank you very, very much, Rebecca.
we really welcome, thank you for your time today. All right, so let me see here. Where's my mouse? I'm going to go back to the power presentation and I'm going to share my screen again. And so basically, that's what we have from, let me see, let's go to this slide right here. And you've heard from Rebecca and you've heard from Scott. And now it's time for student questions. And I have an ONET online website there for you. I encourage you that if you are thinking or considering getting involved in the airframe and power plant program, and this is something that you're really excited about, take a look at ONET online because you can learn a lot about the type of person, your personality, what skills that you need to be strong at to be successful in this program. So I gave you that website as a resource for you to continue to research and to study your future career. So how do you want to handle questions, Kelly?
We can just go ahead and open it up. So if any students that are listening, any classes, any teachers, any parents, anyone have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself. You can ask your question live or type it in the chat. Ms. Sukovich, I think I see, did you have a student with a question?
Yeah, so my students want to know, we understand that you have 165 minutes a day doing the dual enrollment portion, but how much time each day and how many days a week is the adult airframe and the adult power frame?
Okay, so if they're coming into the dual enrollment program, they would spend 165 minutes a day, which is about 2.5 hours at the main campus. And they would be there 180 days, okay, for pretty much half the day. So I think it probably would only leave them if they were going to do live classes in Lee County as a senior and finish up, let's say, their math and their English, their 4th year of math and English. They could probably do 2 classes back in a live classroom in Lee County. and give themselves time for travel. Otherwise, they could do Lee virtual, Charlotte virtual, they could do Lee virtual. But one of the things I didn't stress enough was that these students, even though they're taking a class with Charlotte Virtual School, they're finishing the general requirement of the program, they would start in Airframe 1 as an adult when they come to the campus next school year, and they would come down to the airport campus next school year. The first year of the program as a high school student is at the main campus. You're never on this airport campus unless you're an adult or unless you travel from the main campus down to here as a senior in a field trip type of a fashion. And the other thing too is you graduate with your Fort Myers school. That's very, very important for seniors to know. You're not graduating with CTC. You're not graduating with any of our Charlotte County schools. You're graduating still with your Lee County school because we have a dual enrollment articulation agreement with Lee County. Does that
Okay.
answer that?
Yeah, but what my students were interested in was once they finish that first introductory course, and then they come onto the airport campus as an adult, how many minutes a day and how many days a week is that adult Airframe 1 course?
Good question. 5 days a week. It starts at 7:30 and it ends at 2:45, I believe.
Okay, so basically the same as regular high school, just as an adult doing, working or coming up to the airport, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And that airframe class, if they started as a senior in high school, they would finish airframe in March. Okay, they would finish airframe in March if they started as a senior in high school. So they wouldn't go an entire year. So we have a teacher that does that cohort, just does that cohort by itself. And then we're looking at possibly in the future starting power plant for that particular cohort. But because we're in the infancy stages still, program development, we haven't taken that on quite yet. So right now, if I would have to tell you what would happen, that student would come back in August and take power plant.
Well, that would be a nice break for them for now, but I definitely understand why you haven't made those steps yet. It's an awesome program. Definitely have some interest, but unfortunately, we're going to have to sign off because our bell's about to ring to go to our next.
Right. I knew that. Yeah.
But thank you for your time and all the information in the tour.
Okay. Well, you're very, very welcome. All righty.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other classes, students have questions? No, any of our, I see a couple college and career specialists. Anyone have questions? No? All right. Well, thank you to all of our students and our teachers and college and career specialists for jumping on. An extra special thank you to Charlotte Technical, for Dylan, Debbie, your staff and instructors and all of your students. Those were amazing testimonials from your students. So that's always the best part. We love to hear from the students that are actually in it and doing it every day. Any last thoughts?
No, just I want to thank you, Kelly, again for your support and help with this. This is the first time for me doing a virtual presentation like this, and I think it all panned out okay, hopefully.
Yeah.
And so we have the parents on March 30th from 6:30 to 7:30. So we'll probably do something a little similar. We do have some nighttime classes, and we might try to get some students from our nighttime class to come in and do some testimonials with the parents. And other than that, I think we're good to go.
All right. Well, for everybody that does want to tune in, students, college career specialists, if you want to share with parents, March 30th from 6:30 to 7:30 is our evening. It'll be the exact same Zoom link. Feel free to share it, send it out. And then this was also recorded, and we will have this recording shared in our Career Ed Talks CTE YouTube channel so that you can share that with students and teachers and put it in your own Google Classrooms and get it out to our families. So with that, I will stop recording. Thank you all so much for being here.